Hello, my name is Austin Jordan, and this is my persuasive speech on why violence in video games does not influence violent behavior. As a huge video game fan, I am very displeased by how the media portrays video games and how the media is influencing it. Media influences our lives immensely, from TV, radio, and video games. Video games have been stigmatized as harmful and corruptive to the youth for a long time. I want to persuade my audience that video games are meant for entertainment, and that the studies will be on my side, that video games are meant purely for entertainment and they do not cause people to become violent, because studies have shown that it does not raise aggression levels as people think. A study from ScienceDirect.com shows that it's actually competition that affects aggression in people more than violence. The study had 64 people playing competitive game, and they play one competitive game and one violent game. There were 2 people to each game. The study concluded that competitive games between people raised aggression more than violence, which goes against what the media says. There are also studies done on the medical aspect of this topic, as shown in a study from research done by Harvard Medical School that shows the techniques used to study the effects of violent video games on young people and how it affects young people does not correlate with real-world violence. In fact, on the opposite, federal crime statistics show that since around 1996, violent crimes have gone down as video game sales continue to grow. Parents themselves are the ones who can protect their children by limiting what they are allowed to play, instead of blaming it on video games. The medical side mainly deals with the mental health of an individual. Video games come mainly under attack after big incidents with school shootings such as Columbine, Sandy Hook, and other shootings like El Paso. An article from Dana.org shows that shootings like the 2011 El Paso shooting, which video games were mainly blamed for the attack, but it actually had little to do with the shooter's intent, which mainly dealt with immigration. The article goes on to state that violence in video games and how it affects people's aggression levels is studied a lot, but evidence to link it to lethal violence is still unproven. The evidence that they do try and show is very shaky. They try to show that their mental health, that the video games cause the person's mental health to deteriorate, and that video games cause a person to slowly become violent, when that is not the case. My sources on these matters are from Dana.org, Philip Bofi, Do Violent Video Games Lead to Violence? The second is from Harvard Health, Violent Video Games and Their Effect on Young People. And my final source is ScienceDirect.com, Dawson, Andre, and Marilyn Jackson, The Effect of Violence in Competition Within Video Games. I hope I have given enough evidence and my own opinion in the matter to sway you guys into thinking that violence in video games do not cause real-world violence.